Welcome to the Department of the Navy, Telework, for Navy and Marine Corps civilian employees. Please, click on the forward button to continue. To navigate through the course, you will use the navigate. Welcome to Telework for Navy and Marine Corps civilian employees. If you are considering telework, this course provides you information to make that decision. If you are already a teleworker, it provides some tips and resources to help you telework successfully. After completing this telework overview for Navy and Marine Corps civilian employees, you will be able to describe the potential benefits of telework, explain telework principles and procedures, identify your potential strengths and weaknesses as a teleworker, list the factors to consider when setting up a place to work at home, and describe the necessary tools to successfully telework. Please, click on the forward. This lesson provides a general overview of the basic concepts and attitudes related to telework. This lesson covers the following telework topics: definition, policy, types of telework, benefits, success factors, and emergencies. Please, to begin this lesson, let's begin with answering the question, what is telework? According to the Department of Defense policy, telework is an alternative work arrangement, where a civilian employee performs assigned official duties at an alternative work site on a regular and recurring basis, or on a situational basis. It allows employees to conduct some, or all of their work at an alternative work site away from the employer's traditional office. Telework is not an employee right or entitlement, or a substitute for dependent care. Please, click on the forward button. Telework policy. Telework policy of December 18, 2001. Current policy consists of the following items: Section 359 of Public Law 106-346. DoD Instruction 1035.01, of April 3, 2007. Dawn Memo December 18, 2001 from the Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Navy. And Charm, 792.4, Work-Life. Please, click on. We will now review the main points of the Department of Defense DoD telework policy. There are a maximum number of positions identified as eligible for, and are permitted to participate in regular telework. Regular telework must have a written agreement between the employee and supervisor. It is not an employee right and may be terminated at will. Supervisors may approve ad hoc situational telework, as needed. It is not and should not be utilized as a replacement for dependent care. All teleworkers must adhere to security and IT policies. No classified documents are permitted at home or the designated workstation. The teleworker is responsible for equipment and safety of information. Teleworkers are responsible for the security of all official data, protection of any government-furnished equipment and property at the alternative work site, and lastly, employees are covered by workers' compensation at alternative work locations. Please, click on the forward button to continue. Telework types and benefits. There are several types of telework categories. We will identify 4 types in this lesson. You may move your mouse pointer over the image to see related information. The first is regular telework. This type of telework occurs on a fixed regular schedule. Second, situational or ad hoc telework. This occurs on a non-routine basis. Examples would include snow days or special assignments. Third, is emergency telework. This type of telework can help essential federal functions to continue, in case of an emergency. For example, an employee who ordinarily prefers to work in the office can have a telework agreement and perform situational telework when appropriate. And if disaster strikes, that employee can be prepared to work from home if needed. And the fourth is medical telework. This type of telework occurs as a medical or disability accommodation. Eligibility is very important in determining if a job role may telework. Not all jobs are eligible for telework. An employee's job must be eligible, in order to be approved. For example, jobs that require access to secret information. Job functions that are required on site. or employees with poor performance are not eligible for telework. Good candidates for telework tend to be qualified employees with a disability, employees that have jobs with portable tasks and activities, employees that are not dependent on direct supervisory oversight, employees that are not dependent on daily face-to-face customer contact, eligible military spouses, and employees with work of report writing, data analysis, policy development, computer programming, word processing, and telephone-intensive tasks. Jobs that are not eligible for telework, based on OPM criteria include jobs that handle secure information, jobs that require on-site staff, and an employee with poor conduct and/or poor performance. Please click on the forward button for each organization. Teleworking offers overall benefits. These benefits include establishing a plan to support and improve real estate cost management, improve time management capability for employees, emergency preparedness, and increasing employee recruitment and retention. Telework offers some employees significant advantages. Telework decreases or eliminates commuting time and expenses, allows you greater flexibility in balancing your personal and professional responsibilities, can offer you blocks of time to focus on a project by minimizing distractions, and makes it possible for both you and management to continue working during emergency situations. Overall, telework makes employees' lives less stressful, and as a result, employees tend to feel better about their jobs. Please, roles and responsibilities. The supervisor and the employee both have a role in teleworking. Each has a responsibility in researching, determining eligibility, setting up logistics, and managing productivity. We will now briefly review the role of the supervisor in relation to teleworking. In order for an employee to telework, they must first receive supervisor approval. A supervisor determines telework eligibility for jobs uniformly. In regards to changing or modifying teleworking, a supervisor may revoke or modify telework days or agreements. Also, a supervisor may recall a teleworking employee back to the traditional workplace on teleworking days, as needed. And a supervisor can communicate with a teleworking employee at any time during the designated workday. Please, click on a brief list of qualities of a good teleworker include an employee who is able to work independently, has a proven record of high motivation, has the ability to effectively prioritize, has good time management skills, and demonstrates satisfactory performance or better. Please, click on Establishing Telework. Employees may telework from several locations. These include a home office, a GSA telecenter in the District of Columbia area, or other Navy or Marine Corps office locations. We will now briefly review the home and GSA telecenters options. We will first look at use of the home for teleworking. If approved, employees should take steps to set up their workspace at home, in accordance with the policy and procedure of teleworking. Employees are responsible for a safe and proper work environment. The Department of the Navy assumes no responsibility for home utility costs. Employees should contact NMCI to determine the remote access requirements. NMCI remote access information may be found at https://www.homeport.navy.mil/training/RAS. Employees should check with their local IT support staff to identify if any needed equipment is available. Some DON commands provide common access card readers and/or laptops. Also, in order to track work time, employees should record telework in a time management system. A second potential option, working from GSA telecenters. Telecenters provide a computer, fax, phone, and copiers. There are 15 GSA Washington, D.C. area telecenters that employees may work from. In order to finance the telework effort, DoD provides funding. Employees or supervisors must submit their applications for telecenter use online at https:// tolbspbsgsa.gov/tolbs/. Please, click on the forward button to continue. If you are interested in, or already telework, but want to ensure that you are a great teleworker, here are the key steps to success. Step 1. Know your command coordinator, located within the Command Director of Civilian Personnel Policy Office. Step 2. Know your command policy. Step 3. Learn about telework. Step 4. Determine if your position is eligible. Step 5. Submit a written Department of the Navy telework agreement to your supervisor. Step 6. Safeguard data. Step 7. Organize your work. And Step 8. Coordinate communication with your supervisor. Please, click on the forward. Telework is vital to emergency preparedness. Working remotely is necessary when an emergency situation presents itself. Organizations benefit greatly by implementing and/or preparing their workforce for teleworking. Being able to work remotely during emergency situations enables continuity of operations. All employees identified as essential personnel, for continuity of operations, must have a telework agreement in place as soon as possible. And when facilities and people are impacted by an emergency situation such as a wildfire, a hurricane, an earthquake, or pandemic flu, organizations may be required to rely on its teleworking capability for its continuity of operations. In the case of a pandemic flu, teleworking enables social distancing. Social distancing keeps face-to-face contact to a minimum while maintaining operations as close to normal as possible. The key to successful use of telework, in the event of a pandemic health crisis, is an effective routine telework program. Please, click on the forward button to continue. This is an example of the importance of social distancing during emergency situations. This example is referencing the 1918 pandemic flu within the United States. The actions and results of social distancing of two cities are compared. The blue line represents the city of Philadelphia and the red line represents St. Louis. This chart shows a difference in impact of the pandemic flu within these two cities. The difference in impact is due to one city's social distancing, to avoid human contact, and as a result, effectively decrease the spread of the flu virus. This chart shows what actions the mayor of St. Louis took to address the 1918 pandemic flu. On the 5th of October the mayor closes theaters, moving picture shows, schools, pool and billiard halls, Sunday schools, cabarets, lodges, societies, public funerals, open-air meetings, dance halls and conventions. This action helps combat the spread of the flu and resulted in a lower social impact. After the mayor withdrew the closing order, a small rise took place. However, the worst of the potential impact of the pandemic flu had passed. If you are interested in further information, either historical or lesson review, we will now